Matibabu ni bila malipo katika hospitali zote za serikali.
Masai. Oh my God. Hi. How are you? I'm Josie.
Wewe Mogaka. Sasa Mogaka. Umiasa zingine hizi mbili umeasia nani sasa?
Wewe unakaa princess.
Oh me? Thank you.
Mami, wacha. Yakoya. Wanasema hivi tandao hii wanawake na dance na mna
excitement. Hiyo sasa. Hiyo ndio ile kitu sasa ninataka.
It's 2,000.
4,000 si kwani ni habibi tikeichi.
Haija. Kwani nilifunga na kifuli mbaya.
Get out of my house.
Let me
get out.
Go. I swear that you and that stupid girl are going to pay for this. If you're getting married, we'll do it the right way, We're going to find a nice wedding dress. We'll do your hair and you'll go there looking pretty. Because if you don't, Amparo, no one, and least of all Ruben, will think you're really getting married because you want to be happy with Reynaldo.
Malena.
Miriam, what a surprise.
Oh, darling, how are you?
Fine.
Well, do you have a few minutes to, have a talk or get a drink?
Sorry to tell you that Gaspar doesn't have what you've been looking for.
This is something very important.
Hello, Miss Montoya. It's great to see you.
Las Malditas.
I've got to shine, you got to shine.
Good afternoon. This is Lunchtime News. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. We have a comprehensive bulletin lined up. My name is Jackie Wambiro. Our sign language interpreter is Lensa Odingo. Remember, you can interact with us on our social media handle at KBC Channel 1. Now, to kick us off, we shall be crossing over to Embu County, where it is day 4 of the Pre-Madaraka Expo at the University of Embu, where Monday's focus is on agriculture in the devolved unit. Council of Governor Chair Anne Waiguru and Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Mithika Linturi are in attendance, and we shall now be crossing over and linking up with our reporter Nancy Okware, who shall be giving us a detailed report. Okware?
A very good afternoon to you, Jackie Wambiro. We are coming to you live from the University of Embu, right here in Embu County. It is a place that has been a beehive of activity, especially from Friday when the Pre-Madaraka Day Expo kicked off officially. It is an expo that was officially opened by President William Ruto. It was focusing on the importance of the small and medium enterprises towards reviving the economy and, of course, course, the housing project that has been one of the agendas that the government has been focusing on. And today being the fourth day, the focus is on matters agriculture and devolution. And it is a function that is being spearheaded by the Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Mithika Linturi alongside the Council of Governors Chairperson Anne Waiguru. They are already on location, and given that we have an expo, there is an exhibition that has been going on here for those days, just to provide an opportunity for various businesses to showcase what they do, their ventures. And of course, the Cabinet Secretary alongside the COG Chairperson arrived here around 30 minutes ago, and they are doing rounds across the various stands that have been set up here just to understand some of the activities that the people from Embu are engaging in. And it is an expo that has also brought together people from different parts of the country who are here to showcase and their activities just in readiness for the Madaraka Day celebrations that will be held here on Thursday. Just a few days to go. The county has benefited greatly from that because so much development has been done in terms of infrastructure. The stadium, that is Moi Stadium, where the celebrations will be held, has already been completed. Right now we are having various rehearsals ongoing here. Focusing on agriculture today, remember that the government has been talking about agriculture being the backbone of Kenya's economy. The president, that is President William Ruto, embarked on a campaign to ensure that farmers access affordable fertilizer. And of course, apart from fertilizer, the government has been able to provide them an enabling environment for them to farm, and of course to ensure that their produce reaches the market in time. So we are going to have a panel discussion in a short while once the Cabinet Secretary and the Council of Governors Chairperson are settled inside the hall just a few meters from here. They will be engaging various stakeholders in the sector and in the agricultural sector on matters agriculture and of course how it can be improved, just in a bid to ensure that the Kenyan farmer is enabled and of course to ensure that Kenya is able to attain food security. So those are some of the activities we are following up on at this county, and of course we expect that tomorrow will be the day that will focus on cooperatives. Remember, cooperatives play a key role in ensuring that various businesses in the country are enabled, and we expect that Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua will be on location for that particular session. For now, I'd like to hand it back to you, Jackie Wambiru, at the Broadcasting House.
Well, that is our reporter Nancy Okare with an overview of the events that are underway in Embu, where it is the pre-Madaraka Day Expo Day 4. We shall be keeping you updated. For now, we move on. Information, Communication and Digital Economy Cabinet Secretary Eliud Owalo has launched the report of Millennials and Digital Natives Media Consumption Habits and Research at the Aga Khan University Center, where the report focuses on identity of millennials and Gen Zs in East Africa, the nature of content consumed, media habits, platforms relied on by millennials and Gen Zs, among others. Well, let's take a look.
Because I believe the consumption habits of millennials are largely being influenced by digitalization. And that is a journey that we are ourselves embarked on. In fact, in many forums that I've held with the media, I've challenged the media to think of how to re-engineer their operations and by extension products to align their products with the needs of the market. And looking at the results of this study, what comes to the mind is that for us to remain competitive as media in the marketplace, we must align our products to the tastes and preferences of the market. And that means in everything that we do, we must think of the needs of the market first and then work backwards. So I'm very much glad and feel honored that I was invited to this presentation of the findings on the media on the consumption habits of young people, whom we call millennials, and Generation Z, or simply Gen Z, in an unfolding digital world, and the implications for legacy media in Kenya and beyond. Indeed, young people, ladies and gentlemen, constitute a critical mass of any society's population. In this context, Gen Z and millennials belong to a generation that was born either in the era of enhanced digital networking, powered by Web 2, or have grown up within an era marked by elevated usage of the internet, mobile devices, and social media. Unlike most of us, the older generation, the millennials have grown up with choices. They are accustomed to interactive media. They are tech savvy and are socialized to consume media content from user-controlled media platforms than earlier generations who consumed mostly supplier-controlled information. Accordingly, or correspondingly, millennials and Gen Zs present both challenges and opportunities, not only to the media industry, but also to society at large. It is a well-established fact that their media consumption habits are fluid. They are themselves very swift in acquisition of new technology. Media managers, editors, and content creators, therefore, are pained to understand this demographic for relevance of their content to them. 4 to 5 years ago, TikTok and showreels were nothing big. Today, that is where the numbers are largely domiciled, and they seem to be flowing in that direction. User-generated content is attracting viewers and advertisers on TikTok. I'm informed that the study that we are launching today, or whose results we are launching today, alludes to opportunities for legacy media among users of TikTok. And this points to the need for further interrogation on how legacy media can position themselves with this generation, for this is the future. Our future, indeed, is the...
Still on the same, promoting digital literacy among parents and caregivers over online safety of children and families will prevent, address, and respond to online cyberbullying, sexual exploitation, and abuse of children in the country. Kenya Films and Classification Board Acting Chief Executive Officer Christopher Wambua says with increased awareness among parents about modern smart technologies linked to the internet, they will be positioned to keep children and youth safe from online harm. He spoke at Deliverance Church in Nakuru, where Kenya Films and Classification Board took its digital literacy program for parents and guardians.
Research has also indicated that children are more tech savvy than their parents. And yet, parents are supposed to guide their children as they interact with technology, so that they make the best and most out of these technologies, as well as the internet. So the reason why we are here is that we want to capacitate parents with the requisite skills, knowledge, so that they can be able to undertake their parental duties properly in the digital environment. You know that initially we had very few television stations. They have become so many. We have internet is everywhere now. Parents are facilitating internet access at home. They are buying smart devices, but they are not available due to the hassles of life to guide their children on how to navigate the digital spaces safely.
One of the tools that we are bringing awareness and building awareness for parents about is called Family Link. Family Link is an app that you download on your phone, and you can use that app to agree on ground rules that you can agree on with your child on how they will use their device. So that the parent's device will be linked to the child's device in a case where the child has a device. And the app helps the parent to determine what times the child will use their device.
Oftentimes we find our children do not even want most of the time to stay in the sitting room. They want to go into their bedroom, stay there, and some of them can take even a whole day. And all of a sudden you realize that the character and the character of our children is changing all over. Suddenly you do not know where they're getting this information. You do not know where they are getting this kind of friends. You do not know where they are getting this kind of behavior. And therefore it is very paramount that as parents and as a nation, both in terms of formulating policies we gear towards on how we can protect our children, rest we're going to lose an entire generation.
Siku hizi tunawachia watoto simu, tunawekea cartoon, zinawachwa hapo ndio zinalea watoto. Na hatuna wakati wa kufundisha mtoto ama kumwelekeza kadiri ya vile mambo yanavyokuwa. Sasa huyu mtoto unakuta cartoons, tunawachia cartoons, tunawachia simu. Unakuta hao watoto wanajua mambo mengi kuliko vile sisi wenyewe tulikuwa tunajua.
In other news, Masalani in Ijara sub-county has been elevated into a municipality status, the process that started sometimes last year and which saw Garissa Governor Nathif Jama sign the Masalani municipality charter culminated at the Masalani Baraza Park, where thousands of jubilant residents braced the scorching sun to witness the momentous occasion. Governor Jama said the new status is a testament of the county government's commitment to devolving services and empowering communities. Charters that will culminate with the elevation of Bura and Dadaab to the status of a municipality are in the process of formulation.
We want the government to support those municipalities that are created countrywide. And the donors that are coming, we urge them to support fully. And these people should sense the essence of being part of municipality cities.
Hali ambapo kuna municipality, kuna mambo mengi yatafanyika. Biashara itadumu, mambo mengine ambayo sitaki kuyataja. Kwa hivyo sisi kama watu wa Tana River tuko tayari municipality Tana River na Ijara tufanye pamoja.
Now this is a further step by the executive to further decentralize. As you all know that decentralization or the devolution should be felt to the lowest level of governance, which is the village level.
Northeastern Regional Commissioner John Otieno has assured the citizens that the government's plan to reopen Kenya-Somalia border points will help a great deal in countering smuggling of contraband goods in the country. Speaking after meeting peace elders in Garissa County, Otieno noted that opening the borders will spur the growth of businesses, which will improve the livelihood of the people by broadening the sources of wealth and money. The Regional Commissioner also held discussions on interclan conflict resolution, mitigating the effects of drought, tackling land disputes and combating drug abuse.
Baada ya hizo borders kufunguliwa, biashara zitaendezwa na itatusaidia kudhibiti hali ya usalama na mambo ya magendo haitaendelea. And that is why serikali inafungua border ili tufanye genuine trade. Kwa hivyo wale wafanyabiashara wakiwa ni Wakenya wazalendo, ninawahimiza wangojee serikali ifungue border na wafanye biashara halali.
Sisi nafurahi president yetu aliamua border ya Kenya na Somalia ifunguliwe. Hiyo nafikiri ilikuwa hatua mzuri baada ya ile mkutano ya Mandera ambaye ilikuwa inakuwa chaired na Vice President. Uchumi ya hii nchi itaongezeka. Biashara halali italeta utajiri. Italeta stability. Italeta ushuru mingi.
Women peace ambassadors from various pastoralist communities in Isiolo County have joined hands to form a Women Peace Council to spearhead the fight against cattle rustling and ethnic animosities that have resulted to loss of lives and property over the years. The initiative, that is driven by the Northern Rangelands Trust, is in partnership with the county government of Isiolo, seeks to provide a different approach to ending retrogressive practices.
Speaking during the launch of the initiative, Isiolo County Government's Chief Officer in charge of Cohesion, Peace and Conflict Resolution, Bokao Aden, said that it was time that women took charge of the crucial peace-building activities as they are most vulnerable during conflicts.
We need to incorporate women in peace building, in creating peace, in passing messages.
Sentiments echoed by Peace Coordinator, the Northern Rangelands Trust, Josephine Akiru.
Women have not been involved so much in peace building processes, and that's why we want to increase women in decision making on issues of peace.
Jennifer Lekurane, a member of the Samburu community from Nasulu Conservancy, and Sabina Namoe, a member of the Turkana community from Nakuprat Goti Conservancy, added that the engagement of women in peace building will be the most effective tool to end cattle rustling.
Kama hii mafunzo tutaingia ndani yetu, sisi tutaweza pata amani kulingana kama vile tumesoma.
Sisi tunataka kuamuka kina mama, tushikane sisi wote, Borana, Turkana, Samburu. Tunataka kushikana sisi wote kina mama, tutafute njia ya kufanya watoto wetu asiende tena msituni.
Still on promoting peace, a peace meeting was organized at Kinyaj at the border of Baringo and Elgeyo Marakwet counties in Kerio Valley by Bode's Community Peace Net organization to reconcile the Tugen, Marakwet and Pokot communities. Communities in Kerio Valley have lived in fear due to conflicts following frequent banditry attacks that have left thousands of people displaced from their homes and turned into paupers after their property is stolen or destroyed by bandits. Speaking in Kinyaj, members of Baringo and Elgeyo Marakwet counties assembly stressed the need to develop the perceived marginalized areas in the North Rift as a long-term solution to the banditry menace.
Jamii yetu Aror tulitoka Aror hapa ndio tukahama ng'ambo ile. Sisi ni watu moja. Watoto wetu vile nilifika nimepata watoto wetu karibu 10 hapa kutoka ng'ambo ile wamewaleka huku. Mbona tunasosana jameni?
Kama kwa haraka hiyo shule unaweza kutusupport kujenga, sisi tutashukuru. Na tunaomba kama hiyo inaweza kuwekwa kama priority, kwa sababu hata hii maneno ya wizi ya ng'ombe na nini ni kwa sababu hatujaweza kupeleka masomo ifike kwa kila mtu. Siku ile tutafikisha kila mtu masomo, mambo hayo kila mtu atakuwa anabeba kalamu, hakuna mtu ya kubeba bunduki. Ni kweli ama si kweli?
Moving on, Defense Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale has faulted opposition leader Raila Odinga over his secession call remarks. CS Duale says the remarks were unfortunate and urged the opposition leader to withdraw and apologize. Details of these and other stories in today's County Wrap.
According to Duale, issues that the opposition have been calling for, including lowering the cost of living, has been dealt with by the Kenya Kwanza government.
The Constitution, Article 1 and the preamble of the Constitution of Kenya talks about a unitary state called Kenya with 47 county units. Mr. Odinga please go back to the preamble of the Constitution.
At the same time, Public Health Principal Secretary Mary Mudhoni has said the national and county governments are working together to help stop the spread of cholera disease. Speaking at Kianyaga Catholic Church, the PS noted that the cases of cholera, which is a highly contagious disease, has been on the rise in many counties in the recent past, necessitating sustained public action on its prevention and control.
National government tunashikania na county government vizuri sana kuona ya kwamba hizi health centers zenye ziko hapa mashinani structures imekuwa improved, madawa imefika kwa wananchi, na pia hii maneno kama hii ya cholera nimesikia mpaka imefika hapa.
The Kenya Conference of Catholic Bishops has called on the opposition and the current government to give dialogue a chance in a bid to end the ongoing political impasse in the country. KCCB Chair Archbishop Martin Kivuva noted that the hard stance taken by the two political rivals will negatively impact livelihoods of Kenyans.
Unaona katika kunaanza kuwa na cracks upande huu, cracks upande huu. Ni wao waunde cracks zao na cracks zao alafu wajirudi pamoja. Uongozi wao upo, kila kundi lina uongozi wao. Kwa hivyo kila commander in chief he has to call order to his own team and say, hey guys, let's get it back together.
And a section of spiritual leaders from Narok County have supported the government's move of forming a task force to review the legal and regulatory frameworks governing religious organizations in Kenya.
My question is, are there chiefs on those areas? Is the county clear there? No, the church today, you are almost tipping the church. That is almost being crucified. But the question is, what if we get lost one person? I believe the family always report.
Finally, military veterans have urged the government to set aside a budget meant for retired military personnel to safeguard them well into their sunset years. The executive director for the Kenya Veterans for Peace, Dr. Nelson Sichele, says retired military officers need to feel appreciated after long service in the armed forces.
So what we are saying is when they retire from the service, they should still live the same decent life they used to live when they were in the forces. I would want that the government sets aside a budget for the veterans, more comprehensive and not attached to the serving military. Because today, veterans, according to the bill of 2022, the military veterans is just an act of parliament, which is more like an appendix of DOD or KDF.
A family with 3 children living with disability in Loitip, Baringo South, are pleading for assistance to facilitate the children access a special school, medication and basic amenities. Joel Pasalaj, the father of the children, says he has no source of income and is unable to fend for his disabled children who require round-the-clock care. He is now appealing to well-wishers to come to his aid.
Udri is at his wits' end, struggling to feed his family and take care of his children who are severely disabled. Joel Parsalaj, who is a fisherman, says it is now 1 year since he was forced out of his home following flooding of the neighboring Lake Baringo that rendered him and his family of 9 homeless.
Sijajua kama wanatembea ama watatembea, manake changamoto yenye nilipata juzi tu ama usaidizi tayari. Sasa nimepata nafasi kwamba nimesaidiwa mpaka Kijebe ambayo wamefanyiwa assessment. Bado nangojea waende sasa wakae huko watibiwe. Therefore just waiting the report from the Kijebe. So alafu nipeleka.
An official from the education department in Baringo County visiting the family to assess the situation decried increased cases of negligence of children with disability within Baringo South. She appealed for increased public awareness even as she recommended the father of the disabled for reaching to get assistance to raise the trio. Parsalaj is calling on well-wishers to assist his children with assistive devices and funds for beddings and regular physiotherapy clinics at the Kijebe Specialist Clinic, which is 200 kilometers away.
Tunashukuru Mungu sana kwa sababu Mungu amefanya na aendelee kufanya. Tunashukuru pia wale wahisani wengine wenye walikuja, hata vile tunaona sasa maisha ya watoto yanaendelea kubadilika. Tunaendelea tu kuomba kama kuna wahisani wengine, kwa sababu watoto wanataka wapelekwe shule na pia waendelee wapate matibabu, kwa sababu wakiendelea kukaa hivi sio vizuri watoto wakae nyumbani kama waendi shuleni.
Brian Onsom reporting for Lunchtime News.
In other news, the Finance Bill 2023 continues to arouse mixed reactions from a section of Kenyans. Those opposing the bill say the taxes proposed will overburden Kenyans, while those in support of it contend that the bill intends to impose taxes on public servants and not everyone.
A section of leaders earlier to Kenya Kwanza has faulted their counterparts from Azimio coalition for opposing the finance bill before it is presented in parliament. The leaders, led by Belgut Member of Parliament Nelson Koech, argue that the bill intends to impose taxes on public servants only in order to improve the lives of Kenyans. And Tourism Cabinet Secretary Penina Malonza has pleaded with Kenyans to back the Finance Bill 2023, saying it will save the country from borrowing loans to sustain the economy.
Rais William Ruto amesema hivi, lazima tugawe gharama. Wale ambao wako na hiyo mshahara ndio pesa yao itaingia kwa housing fund.
Tunataka tujiokoe sisi kama Wakenya. Tujiokoe kutoka kwa kuchukua misaada na loans kutoka kwa IMF. Haitatusaidia, manake ile tax ile interest tunawekwa juu pia ni mingi, na utaona nchi, ndio maana hatuwezi kuendelea kama Afrika.
This is some leaders from the Azimio coalition and teachers oppose the bill, especially the proposed 3% housing tax. They say the government should instead work on solving the puzzle of rising cost of living. Tilio Marco for Lunchtime News.
On health matters, reproductive health advocates are decrying the high rate of girls dropping out from school in Gatundu North Sub-County, Kiambu County, as a result of period poverty that leads to early pregnancies. During an event to mark Menstrual Hygiene Day at Wenduri Primary and JSS, the Principal Elizabeth Mushina noted that parents cannot afford sanitary towels for their daughters because of high poverty levels. Mushina called on the government to avail sanitary towels available in schools all year round to cushion girls from stigma.
Katika hiyo hali ya wasichana wetu huwa tunapata changamoto kubwa sana katika hii shule, manake wengi wao wametoka katika jamii ambazo katika hali ya kifedha maisha yako chini kidogo. Kwa hivyo inakuwa ni shida hao watoto kuweza kufika shuleni wakati wanakuja mwezi unapokaribia wao kupata hiyo hadhi. Ikiomba mashirika ambao wanaweza kusaidia wachukue jukumu hii katika hali ya kuona ya kwamba ni vyema wasaidie msichana wa kike kwa kuleta zile sanitary towels shuleni, ili zinapowekwa mahali pale shuleni, mwanafunzi anapopatwa na jambo hilo akiwa shuleni ataweza kupata nafasi ya kupewa na mwalimu.
Well, that report brings us our first break here on Lunchtime News. Don't go too far, we still have more news coming up.
Ili kupata sikiza tune hii ya kibeti, bonyeza *811*962#.
Aki, umefanya vizuri sana kunipigia hii simu sasa. Nimekuwa na stress kutoka asubuhi kabisa. Na ni huyu mtu ambaye alikuwa anapatiana majina ya vitu. Kwani hakutufikiria sisi watu wa Eastern Ukambani? Ni nani alisema ati wife kwa Kiswahili ni mke? Na akasema ati handbaka. Hii inabebwa na mwanamke, handbaka. Ati kwa Kiswahili ni kibeti. Huku kwetu mke ndiye kibeti.
Ili kupata sikiza tune hiyo ya kibeti, bonyeza *811*962#. *811*962#.
Get out of my house.
Let me
get out.
go. I swear that you and that stupid girl are going to pay for this. If you're getting married, we'll do it the right way, We're going to find a nice wedding dress. We'll do your hair and you'll go there looking pretty. Because if you don't, Amparo, no one No one, and least of all Ruben, will think you're really getting married because you want to be happy with Reynaldo.
Malena! Miriam, what a surprise. Oh, darling, how are you? Fine. Well, do you have a few minutes to, have a talk or get a drink?
Sorry to tell you that Gaspar doesn't have what you've been looking for.
This is something very important.
Hello, Miss Montoya. It's great to see you. Las Bandidas.
Welcome back. This is Lunchtime News. Teaching children peace-building skills by integrating peace concepts into the school curriculum is a practice that is well ingrained in Japan. The nation, which suffered the worst atomic bomb attack in 1945, is today using educational institutions to preach harmonious coexistence to its people from a tender age, with the hope that thoughts of conflict never find a place in their society. Judith Akolo has details on the lessons from Japan.
Education is the transmission of knowledge, skills, and character traits to young minds as they grow. And in order to mold minds that appreciate the need for peace, Japan has put in place an elaborate plan and strategy in its curriculum to teach young minds about peace.
平和教育だと落合小学校に関わらず広島市では、平和教育プログラムという全部の学校、広島市の学校で行っている平和教育があります。
At Ochiai Elementary School in Hiroshima, Japan, a grade 6 class lesson is underway. The lesson is on peace around the world, building on the just concluded G7 Hiroshima summit. The children here are about 11 years old. Young as they are, they seem to know the price of war amid raging conflict between Ukraine and Russia. On this day, they were taken through an exercise where they make a paper orizuru, also known as origami crane or paper crane, a design that is considered to be the most classic of all Japanese origami. The exercise symbolizes a constant call for the Japanese to work and live together as one. There is also time for discussions among the young learners here. Their teacher soon asks them to move from one desk to another to see what the rest have written about peace. Kohanu Nakamura is only 11 years old, but what happened in 1945 when Hiroshima Prefecture was attacked from the skies rings the bell that indeed peace is important.
今は本当に楽しく過ごしているので、前に原爆が落とされたとは思わなかったなと思いました。
As the lesson ends, the children and adults alike have learned something, that indeed peace and peaceful coexistence ranks highest in life. Judith Akolo, Lunchtime News.
Well, quite inspiring. Now, on matters environment, a section of farmers in Elgeyo-Marakwet County are embracing the planting of trees to help address the shortage of fodder for the animals through the Silvo Agro-Pastoral System spearheaded by Kenya National Farmers Federation. Farmers have also been sensitized on the benefit of growing fruits to enhance food security while conserving environment.
Lack of sufficient pasture is one of the main challenges pastoralists in the arid and semi-arid regions face, especially during the dry seasons. But environmentalists and other stakeholders in agriculture have begun sensitizing farmers in Elgeyo-Marakwet County on the need to plant trees which can act as an alternative source of fodder besides assisting in prevention of soil erosion. In Sambirir, in Marakwet East, Joseph Yatich, an agro-pastoralist in
Birir has come up with a way of ensuring that his animals do not suffer due to shortage of feeds during the dry seasons. He heavily relies on gravelia trees that occupy his 1-acre parcel of land.
Faida ya gravelia ni kusaidia mimi wakati wa kiangazi, ng'ombe anaweza kula. Alafu ya pili ni mbao. Ya tatu anachunga mmonyoko wa udongo asiende. Ya nne ni kupika makaa.
Kitum's wife, Elizabeth Chelimo, used to depend on the nearby Embo Boot forest for firewood, but now she no longer does that, since she relies on the branches of the gravelia tree for cooking.
Na hata hii gravelia ni mzuri kwa sababu analete mbolea. Kini yake unapanda kila kitu. Hauwezi zuia kila kitu. Unapanda mahindi, unapanda hata miwa, na gravelia bado iko tu. Ni mzuri sana.
Kitum and his wife are among the more than 1,000 farmers who have benefited from the Silvo agro-pastoral system, spearheaded by the Kenya National Farmers Federation, where farmers have been sensitized to grow fruits that ensure food security besides conserving environment.
Some of the interventions that I can give impact stories about, the first one is on building capacities, and farmers are really becoming more open to understand that how they're doing or practicing agriculture is not the best way, and then they're adopting the new one.
Kenya-Somalia County, through the leadership of His Excellency the Governor, have committed to 60 million trees in 5 years, which definitely we know, like if we are meeting that and even more within the 5 years, Kenya-Somalia will be talking about, something else. We will not be at 29.95%. Maybe we will be already projecting about 38% within the 5 years.
Destruction of forests has led to massive land degradation along the Kerio Valley, prompting the county government to seek strategies of ensuring forest cover.
Then let's now take a look at news making headlines in the business world, where Embu County has joined 11 other counties in the country in processing of Orthodox tea in a move that is geared towards boosting farmers' earnings and meeting the rising demands of specialty tea. Rukuriri Tea Factory is set to undertake the 300 million shilling project that is set for completion in 2024.
Kenya tea factories have been embarking on diversifying their product portfolio and leaning into Orthodox tea, whose demand has been growing in the international market. Currently, Kenya only produces 500 tons of Orthodox tea against a demand of 2,000 tons. Embu County will now process Orthodox tea in a project by Rukuriri Tea Factory, which will cost approximately 300 million shillings.
Our traditional CTC teas, the prices are going down while the Orthodox teas are going up. Together with the help of the government, we are going to install one line at first, accompanied by 2 automatic withering machines.
The factory chairman, Joseph Ranjau, says there is need for collaboration in funding and financial will extend a moratorium of up to 3 years before starting repayment.
Tunasema mambo ya quality pale kwa kuchuna majani. Lazima achune majani to leaves and bud. Sababu hii majani ya Orthodox lazima ikuwe quality mzuri ili ile wakati unaenda kuuza at least inakuwa na market mzuri.
At the same time, plans are underway to have tea fortified products including beer and wine, according to Tea Research Institute. Frederick Muki for Lunchtime News.
In other news, the Ministry of Investments, Trade and Industry through the Kenya Investment Authority in conjunction with the African Continental Free Trade area is hosting the Africa Private Sector Dialogue and a working retreat for trade ministers from Africa in Nairobi. Now, the conference will, among others, discussion strategy for unlocking Africa's potential in terms of investment and trade. And now let's link up with our reporter Hibak Said. Hibak, kindly bring us to speed.
Thank you so much, Jackie Wambiru. We're still here at the Kenya International Investment Conference, where we have been going through various exhibitions. Just a few moments ago, we were at Busia, where we were talking about oil and palm oil, and they were value adding to their own products in order to ensure that exportation can be reached. Today, or right now, we are in Kericho. Kericho is well known for its coffee, and we have the Kipkelian farmers who have come together to ensure that Kenyan coffee is being taken by the Kenyan people, because we are not the best consumers of Kenyan coffee, apparently. If you could just tell us, what are some of the challenges that coffee farmers are facing right now?
Thank you. We are in Kipkelian, and some of the challenges that we are faced with is one, low production, quality of coffee, and local consumption. We don't consume much of our coffee like most other producing countries. We consume very, very little. So what the union has done is, first of all, they've been licensed to market their coffee, and we are very, very happy with the government because they have prioritized coffee in their government agenda. So with the support of the government and the new regulations, Kipkelian as a union has been licensed to market coffee. They'll be participating at the auction and even selling coffee directly. Already they have managed to sell coffee directly to Korea, where they fetched about 100 million Kenya shillings, which is good money. And with that kind of relationship and building on that, they can also sell more coffee directly. So the union has joined other unions to form a National Coffee Cooperative Union, and together they are approaching the market in a consistent manner, where, number one, they will appreciate what the market is looking for and work with the farmers to produce for specific markets. Our main idea is to increase production, the quality of coffee that we sell, so that we compete with other coffee producing countries like Colombia, Guatemala, Brazil, not internally, because internally we experience the same problems. So the union covers all the way from Mount Elgon to Western Kenya. We have Kisii Highlands, we have the Rift Valley, we have Central and Eastern including Meru and Ukambani, and they're coming together to ensure that they produce enough coffee for the market. So the other thing is on local consumption. You can see from what we have value-added coffee, roasting and packaging, and we are trying to work together so that we can have international standards where we can export our coffee and also increase our local consumption. So we will engage our young people and all the other in partnership with the private sector to sell our coffee locally, and maybe through a franchise program where we can have coffee houses, and the youth will be trained on how they can make a good cup of coffee. As you can see, we are doing cappuccinos, lattes, and mocha, americano, all kinds of coffees that they hear about but would want our people also to experience.
And Jackie, it's such a cold day today, and I've been, of course, enjoying a very delicious cup of mocha straight from Kericho County. And of course, they're involving the youth who are also partaking in this. You always visit coffee shops. Are you sure that the coffee you're consuming is Kenyan coffee? That is the real question. Of course, we're going to be here. We're going to see what else they are doing in order to ensure that we can market ourselves and we can package ourselves. She's talked about joining unions, which is something that has been advocated for, especially for farmers. But for now, back to you in studio, Jackie.
Well, thank you so much, Backside, giving us an update from the Kenya International Investment Conference, where high-level discussions on strategies for unlocking Africa's potential in terms of investment and trade, as well as implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area. Now, in other news, Kisii County government is gathering information from farmers on the effectiveness of the subsidized fertilizer. The exercise, which includes soil testing, is looking to ensure that the fertilizer does not compromise the recommended soil acidity or alkalinity when applied on the farms.
We are talking about packaging, and a number of speakers have said that challenges are there in terms of packages because of, again, the size of land we have in Kisii County. The farmers have small portions, so it is the appeal of them, the farmers and the agro-dealers, that let us give the farmers what they need in terms of the quantities, packages, and the quality at a given point.
The rate of Malaysia's producer price index, which measures the prices of goods at factory gate, declined further to -3% in April 2023 against -2.9% in March 2023. The continuous downturn trend is mainly due to the decline in agriculture, forestry, fishing and mining sectors, which continued to record negative changes for 4 consecutive months in 2023. More details next in our International Business Roundup.
Malaysia's mining sector declined by 4.7% in April 2023 compared to -11.5% in the previous month, while the manufacturing sector registered a marginal increase of 0.1%. For the utility sector, water supply went up 3.2%, while electricity and gas supply increased 0.1%. Intermediate materials, supplies and components went down -0.1%. However, finished goods rose by 3.5%. Crude materials for further processing and intermediate materials, supplies and components indices increased by 0.7% and 0.2% respectively. Conversely, finished goods inched down -0.1%. Elsewhere, years of United States imposed sanctions continue to cripple Venezuela's oil industry, despite the South American country's massive results and partial easing of the blockage in the year 2022. The United States imposed a new sanction in the year 2017, targeting Venezuela's state oil company. The sanction devastated its most important industry and complicated fuel imports. Venezuela's government has provided subsidized fuel to its citizens since the year 2020. A monthly maximum quota for subsidized fuel was set at 120 liters for every registered vehicle. Finally, Guizhou in southwest China is quickening its construction of innovation zones for the new development of digital economy with many new products and new technologies. The expo this year displayed more than 900 new products, new technologies and new programs and signed investment contracts worth more than 61 billion yuan. Guizhou province has sped up to push forward in the in-depth integration of big data and real economy, social governance and livelihood protection in the past few years, with the growth rate of its digital economy ranking first in the country for 7 consecutive years. Data at the core, it has continued to deepen the reforms of market-based allocation of data elements.
And in the sports arena, reigning Africa 100-meter record holder Ferdinand Omanyala lost his first race of the season as world champion. Fred Kelly edged him at Rabat Diamond League in Morocco last night. Omanyala finished third behind South Africa's Akani Simbine.
World champion Fred Kelly clocked 9.94 seconds to win the race, ahead of former African champion Akani Simbine, who came in second. Kenyan's Ferdinand Omanyala completed the podium dash.
Fred Kelly. And what was the wind doing there? Plus 0.1.
Meanwhile, Commonwealth champion Mary Moraa destroyed the field to win the 800 meters with a time of 1 minute, 58.72 seconds.
The American heard a clacker as Moraa takes the win. And
Kenyan Emmanuel Wanyonyi emerged victorious in the men's 800 meters, clocking 1 minute, 44.36 seconds. Wycliffe Kimanyal and Emmanuel Kiprui came in second and third, respectively.
As Kenya-Somalia will finish second, Robert of France.
Men's 3,000 meters steeplechase, Abraham Kiwot finished third, clocking 8 minutes, 5.51 seconds, while Leonard Kipkemoi and Benjamin Keegan settled for 5th and 7th position, respectively. Diamond League heads to Florence, Italy on 2nd June. Stella Onyango for Lunchtime News.
9 promising young players were selected by 3 top-tier teams for trials and subsequent talent nurturing on the final day of the football tournament held in Busia County that attracted top coaches in the country led by Tusker FC tactician Robert Matano, among others. The second edition of the Western Regional Tournament is slated for July in Busia County.
36 teams drawn from 7 sub-county across Busia County participated in the tournament that attracted top coaches in the led by Tusker FC Robert Matano, Nicholas Moyoti of City Stars, and AFC Leopards team manager Albert Wesonga. The young players from Busia County took part in the football tournament that saw 9 young players selected by 3 top-tier football teams for trials and subsequent talent nurturing. Led by Busia County member of National Assembly Catherine Omanyo, said such tournaments play a crucial role in nurturing upcoming talents.
I'm very excited. Majina niko nazo hapa. Sitaki mtu anicorrupt. Sionyeshi mtu. Mimi yangu ni kuita hao watu kupeleka wapi? Nairobi. Actually ni mkaaji wa wapi? Busia.
Tumeshikana na mama in collaboration kuweza kufanya hii hafla siku ya leo ya kutafuta talanta, kukuza talanta na kuweza kuwa connect na recruiters nationally na outside Kenya. Siku ya leo ni siku kubwa sana. Nadhani ushabiki mkubwa na talanta mkubwa wa mpira iko hapa eneo ya magharibi ya Kenya. Nimeamini siku ya leo.
The second edition of Western Regional Tournament is slated for July in Busia County with more scouts invited.